Hey there, happy Sunday. Coming live because I need a little break. Been doing lots of stuff and trying to do my best to finish up this picture because I'm really kind of close. Um, and I started this on Friday, Friday night or something like that when I went live on Friday, and I did some more work on it. I went in with mostly with pencil to like kind of fine tune some of this because I didn't have the right technique to make it look the way I wanted to, where there was like, a little bit of white underneath or whatever, where it was like paler to show the definition between the feathers, the whatever you call it. So yeah, so I went in with pencil. I did black pencil on here to kind of even out the oil acrylic shine, which I like the shine, but it wasn't working for the picture continuity with everything. So I did pencil even that out, and I was surprised that the pencil actually went over the oil acrylic marker. So that was good to know. And I think it seems like, well, and it's probably obvious to most people, but um, to wait until the marker has dried completely before you start. Oh my god, I just did that just now. That's bizarre. We'll have to fix that. Um, how'd that happen? That's weird. I'm gonna have to make that work for us. Um, yeah, and I found that after I let it, that I was able to do like some pencil work on this. After I did that, okay, we're gonna have to figure out how to blend that in. Hey, Mandy, happy Sunday. And hold on, let me turn this. See if I can. And I did blend out actually while I'm blending this part. I can tell you, I blended out the marker, because my marker technique isn't that great. Understatement. Um, I was able to blend out the streaks with this blender. So it's called Art and Fly. I don't know. I got these somewhere. I think I got a pack of them from Amazon. I don't know how long ago. Um, and hold on, try and clean that off. I don't know exactly how these things work either, but I'm doing what I got to do. Might need to buy another pack of these at some point. I don't know. We'll see how long these last. I have two of them. Have learned to clean it off after you use it, and it does work. But then I'm like, what's inside here, and how much of it is in here? I don't know. Anyway, so and I went in with more pencil, with like in here. I went in with a blue pencil, and I went in with my handy dandy Prismacolor white. I swear I am in love with these. I can never be without a bunch of them. Although this one is a Xena color. Where'd that come from? Um, I was using a Prisma though. I'm pretty sure. Um, and I did some work on here. I'm not sure how I like the tail right now. I was kind of like leaving it alone because I don't want to like overwork it. Maybe it's just fine, and I should just leave it alone. Um, but I just thought of something. If I turn it this way and then blend going across, it'll give like that kind of illusion that the feather, the whole bunch of feathers, that each one is kind of curved. So maybe I'll do that. Um, and then I started working on the green. I went in on the green. One of the things that like kept me from liking this page, like readily wanting to color it, was all the green. It's like, oh brother, that's kind of boring, right? But I actually had no. It's easier with markers because you can go faster. You're not staying on it for so long. So I think that helped me. I tried to use, I have a lot of greens in this Arctic set. Um, and so this is a set, it's got 32 colors. And yeah, you can see all the greens there. So that was helpful. And it's like, okay, I don't have to use the same color green all the way through. So I use like darker ones. I used a different set for these than I did for this, and then I did for this, and then I did for this. So different combinations. So that helped. Um, so then last night I did the wood. Um, and I just did it with just markers. I was thinking maybe I might go in after with pencil, but I kind of think I want to leave them. I like them like they are, and I don't want to like be on this too long. And I just found more green, arg, more leaves. Although I could make it a different color other than green. Um, Thank you. I looked at a reference on, I looked at a bunch of pictures of toucans on um, Google on the images, and some I had to kind of just make up and do it on my own. Like this part, I kind of made it up on my own. The red, I did see red coming out of one of them, like this part, so that's where I did the red orange. Um, but yeah, I didn't want to do all black. I just really wasn't feeling that. So I really like this part. When I went in with that white pencil, I was like, oh, because I put in the blue, because I wanted some delineation between this and this. And I don't know why, I just liked it, and I thought, oh well, that blends in with this up here, so it kind of brings the picture together. So it may not be realistic to a toucan, but I thought it worked for the picture, so that's why I did it. Hey, TaylorMade, happy Sunday. So I'm getting to where like I need to figure out a background and what I'm gonna do the background with, and I'm not sure. And that was one reason why I thought, well, let me come live, because like then I'll do it without thinking, and then it'll just get done. And that's the same thing like with all these little um, UKOs, unidentified Kirby objects. Um, I don't want to think too hard about them. And so if I figured if I came live, I wouldn't think too hard about them. So I just grab something and go in. Um, so the big question is whether I'm going to use marker for this background or not. And I'm kind of leaning towards not. Because that kind of sounds, I don't know, that almost sounds like torture. But then it would be nice if I did all marker for this. Um, but I might switch from the Arctics ones and get a wider thing for it, which actually would be these ones whose names I don't know. But I'm also running out of them, so it's kind of like, and I don't have any replacement for them because they're not available, currently unavailable on Amazon. But I got 3 different blues, so maybe I'll do that. I was trying to stay away from blue, but I can't think of anything fancy schmancy to do with this background. This is like so, and I want to get the page done. So, um, but yeah, I really have learned something with this page, and yeah, learned a lot of things. So me and the blender and acrylic markers, yeah, that's going to be a thing with me now, because now I've learned how to do that. So let's see. I swear I use this one so much. It's hard to find a marker in this kind of blue. I think this is the only marker set where I have a real like kind of baby sky blue thing going. So I wind up using it a lot. And when I finally get to the supplies that I have boxed up. Um, I'll be able to find those other um, acrylic markers that I have. I think they are oil based, but they're markers that I bought the same time I bought these when I was like, I want to learn how to use acrylic markers, and so like I bought like 2, 3 sets because I'm obsessive like that, and but they're in one of these boxes that I have. I have like bins or whatever that have lids on them, and like file boxes that have lids on them. That I separated my supplies, tried to put like things together, and but like I can only have so much stuff out at once, even though I have everything out. Well, not everything, but I have a lot of stuff out right now. But um, that's how I have things right now until I can really totally reorganize this room. Countdown for that is coming. We're getting closer. Getting closer. And some of the places here where I kind of got on the leaves, I'm not too worried about it because I'll just touch it up with green. And that's what I'm liking about this is that it's not. I'm finding the ways that it's not like it's permanent. You make a mistake or whatever, it's go over the line or something like that. It's not the end of the world. It's like there is a way out of it, and it's funny because the way out of it is very similar to when I paint with oil, and so I'm really feeling it. Yep, I use mostly acrylic markers. I just went over. I went over this with pencil just to even it out because of how, and kind of to make it less shiny because it looked so different from this part where I did the non-oil acrylic or did the water-based acrylic here. The oil-based acrylic was up here, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize how different that would look. So I went over this with a pencil, and I went over these a little bit with pencil to kind of, excuse me, to change like the kind of messy kind of contouring I had going on there. But it worked for me to have it that way because then that served as a base for it. So that actually it wasn't a bad thing. It's kind of like when you do paint in layers, which is something like a lot of times you do with acrylic paint or oil paint. So, ciao. That remodel, yeah, it might be done when I'm 80. Let's put it that way. If it were up to me, child, it would be done. I would have hired folks. I would have planned. I would have made the list. And first, we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do no. It's not happening like that. And so, um, yeah, I don't know. Something I'm always praying about, but kind of connected to that. I guess, and I hope it works out. Seems like it has, because there's other things I've planned before that, like it just, I make the plan, I get all set up, get ready, get the stuff, and then I can't do it. But I feel like I'm getting ready to actually paint at my desk, which means I have to work much smaller than I'm used to doing, and I won't be using oil paint because I can't. I don't have ventilation up here to do that, and also I don't have oil paint is like, it's messier in that it's more permanent, more smeary, more harder to clean up, all that other kind of stuff. So I can't do that in this room. It's not a kind of room where I can let that happen. Whereas the space where I oil paint downstairs is a space where I can let that happen. And I actually have, have all my stuff. I'm on an old rug in that space. And so that if anything falls, it's not ruining anything. So that's how that whole space down there is set up. That nothing can get messed up, or nothing that can get messed up that matters, or nothing can get messed up that's a permanent structure. Um, yeah, but that's not how it is up here or anywhere else in the house. So I can't use oil paint outside of that area. Plus, that area also has two big windows that I can just open up while I'm painting. And it's in a place where even if it's wintertime, I can open up the window and it's not going to interfere, with heating in the rest of the house and all of that. So it really was my space to do that. Um, so I don't know. And I got all those tubes, like big tubes. Because I painted a lot, so I have like those big tubes of like Winsor Newton and stuff paints that they're all just sitting there in my little paint toolbox. They don't go bad though, which is good, but still. Yeah, it's one of them things. And like, I don't know why he insists he wants to do all the work himself. I'm like, why are you going to torture yourself like that? Why don't you hire somebody else for the big stuff, and the little things that you like to do that part, the finishing part. I don't know. And I have to keep reminding him of that to the point where I'm just sick of it. It's like, how many times do I have to tell you that? Like, for you to think that way. Like, why are you torturing yourself trying to do it yourself? I really don't get it. I don't get it. I have not been able to crack that code. So I don't know. Still waiting on the bathroom to be finished, but like I said, like, this summer upstairs is mine. And I told him, stay away. Upstairs is mine. I have to recover from the pandemic up here with all the equipment and stuff that I got to try and do work from home and just all the other stuff. I've never been able to really go in and, if when things finally stabilized, to work on it. So this summer, that's what I want to do. But so I actually, yeah, so I've been buying stuff to be able to, and thinking of like me actually doing art stuff up here, not just, coloring and coloring books. And I find that coloring and coloring books has actually helped me, because it's helped me, like, even like with this, like, and it took leading up to how I've been working on this, that like, with coloring and coloring books, is understanding how to work smaller, um because I'm understanding things now about paper that I didn't know before, because I always, I just dealt with, well, I would color on surfaces. I have like canvas, of course, like muslin canvas. I have like a whole big roll that's like, I don't know, I think it's like 12 feet tall or something like that. Um, that's downstairs, of course, in plastic. It's protected. But, canvas boards. I have a lot of canvas boards that actually I can also use for acrylic painting. Um, so they won't, I can use that. And some of them, most of them, I think are small enough, or a lot of them are small enough where I could actually work up here with them, and I don't have to put them the on the easel, because that easel is not moving. It's not going anywhere. I mean, I could, it won't fit up here. Basically, there's no way to stand it up here or anything, and I wouldn't even be comfortable working with it up here. Um, but yeah, it's too big to. So, and I need space to work on that. It's an easel that's made for you to stand up on it and be able to move all around with it, and it's not like it's not a small thing. Because when I would paint, the smallest I would go, I'm trying to remember the dimensions of things. Um, 16 by 24 for me was small. And I don't think I even did it. Did I do anything? I did do a couple of things that are really like that are square. And one of them I gave away to somebody. I actually saw those the other day and I was like, I forgot I did that. But the little abstract things. But I've also painted on like child, I'll go into Lowe's and I'll find a board. It says, ooh, I can paint on that, and I would paint on it. Because actually what I used as my palette, which was something I learned in my painting class, that was actually what he had us using, was this board that you get. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the one side is white and it has like a finish, and then it's like on some kind of particle board or something like that. But it has the top side of it has like this white finish on it that's smooth. And so that's what I would always use as my palette. And then you just take an X-Acto knife and score it and then break it. And then you have your palette. That's what I was used to using as my palette. And why did I say that? Oh, so when I would be there in Lowe's getting, if I was looking for that or whatever, or when I had been there at Lowe's looking for that to make a palette, or you can make several palettes out of that actually. But I'd see other types of boards, and I kept thinking, well, I wonder if you can paint on that. I wonder if I can paint on that. And so I did. I would buy some of those and paint on them. So I have a couple paintings that are on that kind of stuff. But my favorite thing to paint is actually and I know I said this before, but they're still lifes. I love painting still lifes because I love the process of it's so relaxing and meditative because you're just staring at the object and painting what you see. And then when you look at what you painted, you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. I love that. And there was a time when I was really, um, it's almost like whenever I feel like I want to somehow, well, when I want to paint faster, when I feel like, I keep taking too much time with these things, I need to learn how to paint faster. I do a still life of fruit because you only have so much time with fruit because it's going to spoil if so you got limited time before you're doing it. You're going to have to try and do it from memory because the stuff doesn't look the same anymore. um I loved it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And arranging the still life set or whatever, and then painting it. I just love the process of it, which also fits a lot with my life because then it's like one day do this, the next day do this, the next day do this. So it's like one day working on the setup of the still life, the next day looking at your paints and figuring out what your palette needs to be set up to look like. Um, Another day mixing colors, and then go in and you get, well, also in that preparing your canvas, you got to do that. And what I would do is, um, like if I was using, canvas and stretcher bars, you got to put the stretcher bars together. Then you got to stretch your canvas over the stretcher bars and staple them to it. That's usually something I would do like in one day. Um, it doesn't take that long, but it kind of like it to kind of be there for a while on the stretcher bars, to have the muslin on the stretcher bars for a bit, before I would actually like then prime the canvas, just because I don't know. I don't know why I do that. So it can settle or something, I guess. This is just a personal thing. I don't even know if that's needed. I just do it because I don't, you know, I don't know. It's just something I would do. So then you have to gesso the canvas, and then you got to wait for it to dry. And you usually want to put more than one layer, usually like at least two layers of gesso on it. So that would be kind of intermittent. Work on that in between, setting up the still life, set and planning the palette. So yeah, I did plan palettes when I oil paint. I don't plan palettes when I color. I'm just like whatever. But when I oil paint, yes, I plan my palette. But that's because I have something that I'm looking at or something that I already have in my mind. So I have to plan a palette. Okay, I like that. See, that's so fast. I can't get over how fast that is. That's what I'm really liking about this. Granted, I love the feel of colored pencil on paper. So this is not like it's going to replace that. It's just another way to color. That's all. Just another way. And I think that way works good with this page because the bird is so freaking big. I don't want to be using up all my color pencils on this bird. And that was something that was keeping me from coloring this page. It's like, that bird's too big. What am I going to color it with? But yeah, so I actually went and I bought some stuff from this place called Jackson's. That I guess it's in Maine. Um, I bought some. Speaking of palettes, I bought some palettes. I bought a palette. Um, that's for watercolor and acrylic. It's a ceramic palette that has it actually collapses, which works good for me for storage and things like that. But it's sturdy. At least that's the impression that I have, and from the reviews that I saw. So that's coming. They had a some okay. My thing, like I said, I don't like dealing with tiny things that just really gets on my nerves, which is one of my issues with stickers, is that I don't know what it is, just that I can't stand it. Um, and so trying to mix, as I watch people like mixing the hemi gouache, it already gives me hives because I'm like, oh, that little tiny thing, and you're trying to stir it up. It's like I cannot. And so they have these little, I don't even know what they're called, but they're made by Princeton, the brush people, and it's like a little thing because I can't find. I looked and looked and looked. Oops, oh, to try and find small palette knives, and even though they're advertised as small, this is not small. This is not a small palette knife. This is like the size palette knife I would use if I was oil painting in my big space downstairs with my big palette. It's perfect for it. But this is not something I'm going to be doing in that little hemi gouache thing. I'm not going to be like trying to knock this around in that little bit of space. That's BS. I can't deal with it. Um, so I was trying to find something that would work for mixing paint in little spaces, like, little spaces like this and whatever. And like, me trying to think of ways to MacGyver it or whatever. Um, I don't know, couldn't think of one. So I have like a set of silicone tools that are kind of could be for anything, coming from Amazon. And then I have this one tool by Princeton that I have coming that I'm not even sure is small enough. And I only ordered one, and it was like $8 and something cents for that one. So I was like, let me just order one, and then let's see what it looks like. Um, and that's coming. That little Princeton thing is coming from Jackson's, along with the ceramic or whatever it is, not ceramic, whatever it is, the thing, whatever the the what do you call it? It's actually a tub. No, wait a minute. I ordered a lot of stuff from there. I have the tub. Okay, I'm getting two things mixed up. I did order a ceramic palette that has a cover, and I also ordered a tub, a little collapsible tub, um, that has wells in it. Which, like, when I get it, I'll show you. But this is all to help me with painting at my desk and using acrylic paint and some watercolors. So yeah. Um, so that's three things I'm getting. There's actually four things. These, I don't know, these little scrapey kind of tools they looks useful for doing backgrounds. They're made out of silicone. I'm also getting that from Jackson's. So when I get that order, I will actually do an unboxing or whatever, because so you can see what I got, because I'm not explaining it very well right now. Um, so yeah, so then from Amazon, I have those tools, some other silicone tools that will help me with mixing in tiny spaces. I hope that's my hope. If they're not good for that, they're the kind of thing that will be good for anything, whether I use it for art stuff, or I use it in the kitchen, or use it for makeup, or use it for cleaning or something. They're going to work for something. Even gardening, they're going to work for something. So I feel like either way I can't lose. If they don't work for the art stuff, they will definitely work for something else. um yeah, I want to break out with my gouache this summer. I really do. And that wasn't been in my head since like December, that I want to do that, because I'm kind of like, I'm trying to explore other mediums. And I wanted to do multimedia coloring pages, but that also helps me with thinking of other ways to make art, besides oil painting. And so it helps me in more than one way. And yeah, I really want to do the gouache, because my whole thing is I like because of oil paint, I like the thickness of oil paint. Um, and I also think I would like it where I wouldn't have to deal with tubes of paint, because up here where I am, where I have that I can work, that doesn't work so hot. Having tubes and things, it's that opens me up to making a mess up here and getting things messed up that I don't want to get messed up. So I like the idea of the hemi gouache being in the little wells, and maybe even being able to take out what little bit I want from the little wells to use for whatever. So yeah, I haven't opened mine yet either. I think no, I haven't taken the whatever covers off of them, because I knew I was far from being ready to work with them. So, ooh, what is that? A little crumb. Looks like a blue crumb. What happened? I kind of wanted to come live when I was doing the leaves, but um, I couldn't. And then I just was like, uh, I was not in the mood, and I wasn't sure how long I was going to be able to work on them. So, and I did like work on them, come back, work on them, come back. So I was doing other stuff all over the place. Okay, let's take a look at this. I don't know if I should change the color for the bottom or what. I don't know. I need to look at it like a horizon line or something. And then the other thing I got was as a result of like my last live when I was talking about the size of these pages and me thinking, like I wonder if I would actually prefer to just copy these things onto, to take Kirby's images and just copy them onto another page and work on them. And I would want to keep them the same size. And so I went looking for paper that was whatever this is, 9.84 inches by 94.84 inches. And so I went searching for that, and I actually found 10-inch and 12-inch paper, cardstock. And so I have that coming too. And I got the 10-inch to be able to fit the image on there, and then I got the 12-inch square to be able to put it in a, to be able to bind it together, like in a spiral thing or whatever. So we'll see. I don't know if that's gonna be. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. But if it doesn't work for, if I can't get the page onto, if I can't, my copier doesn't take it or whatever. Also, I thought about using that just to use that for my own art, to use it for that and be able to bind it. So, because I think the paper is actually like scrapbooking paper, I think. Well, that's what it's one of them is advertised as that. That's one of the uses, but I don't know, thinking about it. So I'm getting ready. So I really do need to clean my room up and organize it because now I want to see all the stuff that I've collected. There's stuff I know I have that it's like, but I can't access it all at one time because I can't have it all out. And so I think I've given myself now a lot of options for how to create, including like with the journaling, which is something I want to do too and would like to do this summer. So I got to see what I have and what I want to work with, how I want to approach it, because this kind of stuff is new to me. So, like I said, I'm just used to oil painting, and that's it. That was my in. Um, Before that, it was fashion illustration, drawing people with clothes on. That was it for most of my life. From the time I was like a little girl, because my sister and I, we would just do that. Just I don't know, always drawing people with clothes on. And we just got better and better at it, and I kept going with it when she stopped. But I kind of was never able to get into any art classes or anything, or if I did, I was never able to stay. And so that part of me just it didn't go anywhere. Till I went to grad school, needed to take some electives to get my degree, and so I took a drawing class, and then I took that painting class by the same professor. Or actually, that was before grad school. I was a non-traditional student. I went to college late, and so that was actually undergrad. But then in graduate school, I went to take the second painting class, but that professor was gone, unfortunately. He was no longer there, and that made me sad. So I took it from the other guy, and I didn't like him very much because he didn't like me. And I think it was because um, I had natural talent, And I think he was jealous of that. And it's like, I don't understand that because it's like, there's so much stuff I don't know. Why be jealous of me? Like, whatever it is that I do that you're like jealous of, tell me what it is and I'll tell you what I'm doing. And you'll probably know the real words for it. I don't know. I have no problem sharing. But sometimes people are like that. And I've had that happen to me a few times. And even when I took the fashion illustration class, when I was in design school, she wasn't jealous of me. She actually helped me, and that's how you should be. But then that industry was on its way out. Actually, it was the beginnings of being out, so that was not a way for me to go, and I didn't like that school anyway. When you're at a fashion design school and your best grades in the school are for English and psychology, yeah, you're probably in the wrong place. But when I was in high school, I was told, my counselor says, you don't want to go to school, you don't want to go to college, get a job. That's exactly what he said. And in my process of deciding in my 30s, I'm going back to school, I'm going to go to school. One of my professors I had, he was like an assistant professor that I had early on when I was returned to school. He had the same guidance counselor, and that guidance counselor told him the same thing. And we figured out then what that dude's game was. Because that assistant professor, he was Italian and gay, and me being African American, and then the school district we were in, we were both of categories of people that um, they didn't want to see go anywhere. Let's just put it that way. And that assistant professor, oh, he's so funny. I loved him. He's younger than me, but yeah, love him. He's a poet. And he said, well, when he told me that, I says, oh, I'm going now. You told me not to go, I'm going now. He had me cracking up. But yeah, we both, from then, we figured out, oh, that's what his game was. Only help certain people get into college. I get it. Okay. Keep other people out. But if God wants you to be somewhere, no one's going to be able to stop you. Let me tell you that. Because I had no intention of actually going um, to real college or back to real college. And God put me there. And then He put me there for my job. So if God wants you somewhere, you're going to be there. Just put your trust in Him. Human beings may try to stop you. They can't stop what God's plan is for you. They can't. They'll try. And at some points it'll seem like they're successful, but in the end, they won't be successful. And I'm living proof of that. And I've heard people say that all throughout my life. And now I've lived long enough to see. Yeah, they were right. They were right. If God is for us, who can be against us? Nobody with any sense. What's that noise? Is it windy? If it's windy, what's blowing? I don't know what that noise is. It's freaking me out. What is that noise? Okay, I'm not liking that. I can't tell what that is. That's bizarre. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Is it this? It's making that noise? Ciao. It is. Oh my gosh, it's this making that noise. I thought something was scratching somewhere. I was like, what the heck? No, it's this that's making that noise. That's weird. Okay. So let's see. Mr. Toucan. If God be for us, who can be against us? Not anybody with any sense. Because they're going to get got. So for dinner today, I don't know what hit me, but I went there a little bit today. I I finally figured out the right way to make country style ribs. They're pork country style ribs. And well, thank God for Google, because that's where I found out how. And they said again, they said to do a dry rub, which I made a dry rub, and then cook them at 250 degrees or lower. So they said like between 200 and 250 degrees, and most places I was seeing were saying 250, or they said like 250 was the sweet spot. And so cook them at 250 degrees for like 2 hours approximately, and so that's what I did. Oh my gosh. And because they said that country style ribs benefit from low heat so that everything can break down, all the fat and stuff can break down, and then it also retains the juices, and it does. Oh my gosh, there was like no juice in the pan. um it all stayed inside the ribs. So, and I have bone in ribs. I like bone in better. Although, well, one reason I used to like bone in was, of course, like all the dogs in the neighborhood got them. And I miss that because now, like when I trim the fat off of my my meat and things like that. And I used to do that because like that would always be for them or for the cats. And now I don't have any, and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this now. I got to just throw it away. That seems wasteful. We really need two cats and a dog. I swear. I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I'm about to break down and tell my husband, look, we need two cats and a dog. Because really, like I was thinking, it's like I would like to plant a garden. Like even though like I'm dealing with some of the yard flooding, um, I could still do it, but like I'm not sure that I want to do it because now we have deer that are coming out the woods into our lawn and things like that into our yard, and so they're just going to eat everything I put out there, and the rabbits too. So it's like, I'm not going to be doing that work for, critters to be eating it. That's not why I'm doing it. And we didn't really have that problem when we had all the dogs and the cats. So it's kind of like if I'm going to garden, I need to have pets. I'm still waiting for that pregnant cat to show up on my doorstep. And then, oh wow. That's why on my wall I keep posting things with cats and dogs on my mind. I love animals. Not to mention Nitro's Farms. Her chickens, those silky chickens, are like gorgeous. They are so gorgeous. I would have chickens if I could. I think I'd be scared to have chickens because I know we have foxes and stuff around. Child, you don't want to catch me crying because like they got one of our chickens because I will be. I was crying when our dogs and one cat, one dog would find the baby rabbits. Oh my gosh. You'd have to pick me up off the floor. I'd be crying so hard. Can't take it. Although I did get a lesson about, this is nature in its fallen state, and this is like just what happens. It says how it is. But it's still not, still hard for me though. Yeah, so I made the country style ribs, and I made a rub. My rub, I made it myself, and then I made a sauce out of the leftover rub because I didn't want to make it and like then not have enough. I wanted to make sure I had enough rub. So like I had a pan, like a sheet pan that I put it in. I figure I'll just roll them and rub it in on there. And so in the pan I put okay, now I gotta come up with the list. I gotta think now. Um, I started with brown sugar. Then I added some adobo, some paprika, regular paprika, smoked paprika. I have some black pepper that like I bought bulk and it's like in like a bag, and like so it's kind of it's been around for forever and it's lost like its heat, but I figured that's perfect for me to put like a lot of it in there and it won't be so hot. And so I use some of that. Um, Onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of rosemary. What else I put in there? Some lovage that I had from the yard that I have. It's dried. I have it in a jar, dried up, which is something that actually like I don't know if you're watching Mary, but like it's starting to come up. The lovage is starting to come up in my yard, and I want to get a picture of it while it's coming up like this to send to you, or so you can see it. Um, because it grows into like really tall stalks. But right now it's just popping out the ground because it's a perennial. And I actually want to get some of it. I want to take some of it because I wonder if the first growth of the lovage is more concentrated. Because I think I want to like boil some in oil to save it as an oil to cook with and whatever. I did that with our oregano. I boiled it like in one of those mini crock pots, and I thought I had burnt it, but I didn't. That stuff turned out so good. So now I have a jar of oregano oil that I'll like use it to cook with. But yeah, I want to get a picture of the lovage, and I think it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. So I'm gonna get a picture tomorrow and try and post it either on Instagram or send it to Mary on Instagram or post it on YouTube here. I love that stuff, and I never heard of that plant before. But when I started gardening and I started ordering from this place called Richter's in Canada, and they have it's called Richter's something in herbs or Richter's herbs and flowers or something. Anyway, they have a lot of herbs. And so I saw this thing called lovage, and they were saying that it was really good to a good companion plant for tomatoes. And so I got it. I got seeds for it, and had winter sowed the seeds, and I have had that plant ever since. And it actually gives off a lot of seeds too. So I'm gonna send some seeds to Mary. It tastes like a combination of black pepper and celery. The taste is just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And it tastes good in fish, chicken. It tastes good with everything. I haven't seen anything it doesn't taste good in. I'll put it in salad, like when it's fresh. I'll like mince it like really fine, and I'll put it in salad. And actually, I don't even have to do that. I could just take a whole bunch of leaves and put it in there. But I try to conserve it because I'm always afraid. Like, well, I don't know. I just don't use it all up. But yeah, I love it. I really like it in chicken a lot. And then chicken salad. If you like celery in your chicken salad, but you don't like crunching down on the celery, I don't mind crunching down on the celery, but um, use lovage, and it's like adding black pepper and celery to things. It's just not precisely, but kind of, because like I don't really like black pepper in tuna fish. Ooh. But it makes tuna fish taste good too. Anyway, what? How did I get on this subject? I don't even know. Oh, so I was talking about what it cooked. Okay, so the rub. So, excuse me. Brown sugar, lovage, adobo, garlic powder, onion powder, um, regular paprika, smoked paprika, and a little bit of rosemary. Oh, is it? Yeah, a little bit of rosemary. And then I just kind of like, mixed it all together on the sheet pan. Um, Mixed it really well. Oh, and the black pepper, the kind of mild black pepper. Mixed it all together on the sheet pan, and then I took each rib and rolled it in it, and then I kind of pressed it in a little bit and let it sit on the pan for like half an hour or 45 minutes or something like that. I was just I don't know, maybe even longer, because I just went around and started doing stuff because I've been doing laundry today too, and also a little bit of work stuff as well. And then came back, preheated the oven to 250, and then put those in. And then what I did, I had a little bit of the rub left over, and so I put it in a little saucepan, and I put a little bit of water in there, tomato powder. I added a little more brown sugar, and then I started. This is when I started looking for, okay, what do I have around here that I need to use up? And so I saw some packets of apricot preserves that I had from like it was a HelloFresh kit or something like that. So I used that. I had a little thing from another one of those kits of soy sauce. I put that in there. Um, think I already mentioned tomato powder because I had tomato powder. Put some of that in there. Um, I put like about a tablespoon or less of apple cider vinegar. Put mustard in it. Like dry mustard. And what else did I put in there? Oh, and then I topped it off with some General Tso sauce, which I have that I got from the Asian market. I have like a big bottle of it, and it's got a lot of kick. It's like really spicy. Um, so I put some of that in there because I kept trying to get it. It's like I want it to be thick. I want it to get thick. So the tomato powder and that helped it get, thick. So I kind of cooked that until it got to a certain thickness, and it turned out really good. Really, really good. I may have to watch this video again just to remember how I did it, because otherwise I don't know if I'll remember how I did it. Let's see what my husband says about it. He's the real test. He's the one that likes, tons of sauce and stuff. I really don't. I like to eat my stuff naked just because I don't want the extra calories and sugar and salt and all that. But and then I made macaroni and cheese. Not I didn't bake it because the oven was just for the ribs, and so I decided I was going to make macaroni and cheese in the pot, and so I did that, which is basically like the same way I make it as if I'm going to bake it. It's just that when I bake it, I don't necessarily put all of the cheese in it. I wait and leave some of the cheese to mix in between to bake in. And then I also top with cheese and top with breadcrumbs so you get that crust. So it was like macaroni and cheese without baking it, basically. But yeah, so I made that and I didn't spare anything. I used like half a stick of butter in the roux. I was like, oh, if you're gonna do it, just do it. So I put like half a stick of butter in it. Um, I think my husband's mostly going to eat all that anyway, so that's why I was just like, oh, just make it because he likes all the butter. So like, we're just going to do that. I'm going to be eating more vegetables with mine than the mac and cheese. He probably won't eat any of the collard greens. Like he says he likes them and he likes them, but it seems like more and more he's just not eating vegetables. I'm not sure what that is about. I think he's reverting to childhood or something. He doesn't want to eat his vegetables. He likes the sweet one though, the sweet vegetables. Like he loves squash. He'll tear that up. So that was dinner. Collard greens, mac and cheese, and ribs. I almost felt like I was back home, like at my mom or grandma's house. So my collard greens, they were kind of a vegetarian version I had made, and I had it separated them and put them in the freezer. So I just had to unfreeze it and cook it. And then I just added a little bit of apple cider vinegar to it just for flavor. But I'm ready. I'm already ready to just drink the pot liquor. That's just, I got to restrain myself because I'm ready to do that. It's like I need some cornbread or something to soak it in there and just eat that. I would just eat that and be happy. So we're making this all blue. I wonder what that darker blue is like. Take care, Amy. Have a good rest of your day. So we're getting, how long have I been on here? Hour, 4 minutes. I'm gonna try and make it no more than an hour and 30 because I still I got another load of laundry I want to do, or that I should do, or I can do. And I want to do a little bit of work stuff or something. And I'm waiting to see if Bubbles comes on. If anybody else comes on, let me know. But I will end this live because I want to. That was one reason why I came live. Nobody else was live. And then I also thought, well, let me show the progress I've done on this bird. But yeah, this really is a learning. I learned something. For me, this shows me that I've learned something about coloring, with particularly with acrylic markers that I did not know before. So I'm glad I started it like this. And how that this thing blended in those streaks. Like if you look at my last live, you'll see, hopefully, you'll see how this was just streaks and now it's no more streaks. I mean, it just like with no effort, just use this side, it took them out. I was like, all right, now you are my friend. So I'm actually thinking of doing I've been thinking of doing this page from Vibrant Wilds with acrylic markers. And I'm thinking, are you ready to go there? It's like each page I've been doing with from Vibrant Wilds. Oh my gosh, can you tell? I've been trying to use a different medium, and I kind of don't want to start doing that one I just showed you yet until I finish the other ones. But um, the other ones, there's one that I'm using like watercolor and colored pencils, and then the other one I'm using Neocolor ones and the Gamsol. I'm kind of not in the mood to deal with Gamsol. I want to deal with you know, even though it's scentless, I can pick up the scent, and I kind of not feeling that right now, especially since it's kind of getting to be allergy time. It's like, let's not do anything else to my nose right now. But I'm trying to stay. Um, trying not to have too many whips, but I don't know how that's working. Because there really are some times when you don't want to work with a certain medium. You just don't want to. And I feel like if you don't want to, maybe you shouldn't force yourself to because you might mess something up. And I have those other pictures from, is it from Bramble Books? From that traveling whatever book that still have to finish. And it seems like the most successful medium, most fun, and the results I like the most out of coloring those pages has been the Neocolor ones. But I don't. It's almost like with each medium, you have to get into a different head. You have to remember how they work. So I'm wondering if I should make underneath here another color and what color that should be. I feel like it should be a different color. I don't know if it should be more blue. And I wonder if I should leave some of these lines hard like that instead of blended. I may leave these and see how I feel when I pick it up again. If I look at that and say like, oh my gosh, why didn't you blend that? Then I'll know I need to blend them. Although this one isn't close enough, so it has to be. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I do need to blend it a little bit. Really teeny bit. I thought about using the King Art gel sticks for the background, but maybe I'll use some of that for the bottom. I don't know. But I kind of like the idea of having this all be acrylic marker, so it can kind of be a reminder to me for how these things can work. And I have a Tombow colorless blender somewhere around here. I need to find it because that probably does the same thing as this does. I feel like, hmm, how's this working? I don't know. Kind of do like that hard line, but something about it seems a little weird. So I'm blending it in. Then Kirby's little clouds. I don't know if they irritate me or if I like them. It's like a little of both. I want to go on with pencil on this at some point, I think. So now I think I might be at the place where I could actually color the pictures I have and the cards I have from Bubble Studios, because I wasn't coloring them because I didn't want to mess them up. But I think I might be able to do them now. I think I got some skills now, and I can approach them and not feel like I'm going to totally mess them up. Makes everything look fuzzy. So when I see that now, it almost makes me want to go into this with pencil to define some of these lines. Depends on how far I feel like going on this thing. Um, didn't really feel like I was in a cover the lines mode, but who knows? Sometimes that spirit hits me when I when I least expect it. You know what? I need more yellow. I probably should do yellow down here. I got another trunk to do. What I'm gonna wipe off the blue on here. And I think I'm doing that because I don't think blue and brown really conflict that much. So I'm also, why am I doing that? I don't know. Just I'm gonna clean it off on here rather than on the page. I don't know what kind of foundation this lays for things, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. So we got these flowers too. We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's do the trunk on the beige. Ocean brown. Is that the darkest brown? I'm also I'm feeling like I want to use my color pencils. I'm feeling that a lot lately. Excuse me. Oof. Should that be brown or green? I don't even know. There's no coconuts in there. I don't know what to do with the middle. Oh, that's not very dark. I thought, did I just pull out the same one? I have a darker one than this. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I was like, that didn't turn out right. Why? Put some white on this one. Or try to. So I was looking at the weather for this week, the forecast, and they're talking about can't remember the exact wording, but there actually is a small possibility for tornadoes. I was like, what? I think something has changed. Like, I don't know if it's because of satellite or something, but I think that they're able to predict those better somehow in places like where I live that really isn't known for having them because I never heard of a tornado being up here until last summer. And I thought somebody was like goofing around when we got the warning. I was like, we don't get tornadoes up here. That's why I live up here. Okay, I keep going over this. I need to stop. What's this? But it's gonna be when I'm at work and like hail and stuff like that. Which yeah, that we get that. I'm used to that. So I guess the weather's supposed to be it's like severe thunderstorms and things like that on Tuesday. I think I need to wipe this. It's not too bad. And I was thinking about it yesterday, and I'm pretty sure I got this idea of using the colorless blender from watching some people, at least probably two people I watched last week, I think. Because I started thinking about it, it's like, no, you know what? I saw somebody doing that and talking about the colorless blender with markers. And one of them might have been Creative Paula, and the other one might have been Ivy Pearl. Ivy Pearl Clever Swirl. I could be wrong, but I think, yeah, I remember seeing two people last week, and so like I kind of got it by osmosis, but I do know I saw somebody else do it, and I distinctly and what came to my mind about that was like them talking about cleaning it off. I remember that moment in one of the videos, and it's like, oh yeah, gotta clean off. So thank you. I'm gonna need to make this part yellow, which is kind of weird because but I don't know. I feel like it needs to be yellow. If it looks caca, oh well. Just say, see, that's the reason why you should plan your palette. That's what you can say to me. I may not make it pure yellow because I can blend, so. Or if I don't like the yellow, I can put something on top of it. That's the benefit to that. I feel like yellow will balance out this. I don't know. And kind of also bring it together, but balance it out. But we'll see. I have another. Is this, what color is this? I'm going to find out when we put it on there. I know this is the way to do it. But I live dangerously. Let me see. Could be olive green. That's kind of weird. Oh, is it because I got the... Maybe I should clean this off better. Could always go over it with pencil. I don't like how it looks. Probably doesn't help that I didn't bring it to the edge. Ooh. Okay. There's something not to do. I'm gonna make it work. Don't do as I do. The other thing is the stuff from the colorless blender, when it's on blank paper, it does like Gamsol does, so like how it dries. I'm not sure what it's going to dry to. And I might actually like that, what it dries to, so I'm kind of just working with it. Let it do it. Okay, now I think it's totally gone. Almost totally gone. Oh. I can always go over it with pencil though, so I'm not too worried. Because I'm not so sure I want it to be bright yellow like that. I think this is the one I wanted. Okay, now Taylor's going to say, well, I did like the background. There we go. What is that? That little piece of something doesn't want to go away, whatever that is. If I do one little corner and then I can see, do I like that or do I not like that? And then I can decide whether I'm going to keep doing it or not. I think that's the route I'm going to take. But I really do like how fast this was to color. Let's do the whole thing. No half stepping. Ain't no half stepping. I don't know. Living dangerously right now. Actually, it might be kind of nice if there's green mixed in with that because, I don't know, it can look like a jungle. Like a jungle. Yeah, I'm just going to do this one little spot and then we'll see. We'll look at it tomorrow and say, okay, is that just really weird? And then we'll decide where to go from there. I can't even see to blend this at all. Okay, that one I can see. I'm kind of hacking at this. Whew. Into brown. Let's stop right there. Oh, this is in here. In here. And one thing about this is because they are acrylic markers, I can like some spots, if like there's like this brown spot and wherever, I can just like go over it with a dot it with an acrylic marker and cover it up. So I don't know that I want yellow there. I don't know how I feel about that. Unless I just leave yellow in this corner and have the rest of it blue. I keep wondering how much of the blender do I use up when I clean it. Maybe I should use a paper or something and like wipe it. Like, you know, I do like blue being against this instead of yellow. I'm gonna leave those alone. Look at this tomorrow and decide. So, oh, can't get a picture of it. See how I feel about it tomorrow. Let's see this little leaf. True. Just when I cleaned off my blender. I don't need to do too much with that. It's just at the bottom. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna go with more yellow. I mean, I know. I don't know. What's the difference? It's a coloring page. I don't like how it looks, and I know next time I do it, because I know this isn't another book, because this is from Color Morphia. If I really wanted to do it over again and not have yellow in there, I can do it. It's not the end of the world. I love these little things. They're so funny. The little Tyrannosaurus. I had posted a video on my wall either yesterday or the day before that had a bird in it that I can't remember what the bird was, but it had come to somebody's apartment window and laid eggs and had its babies and all that kind of stuff. And when I went back and started looking at the comments for the original video, people were making comments about the building changing and like saying, "Oh, that's so nice that it followed you from apartment to apartment because the background was changing in each picture." And I was like, "Oh, that's suspect." So now I don't know. It's like, is that video real or what? Like, I don't know, very strange. So now I'm wondering like about the origins of that video because and some of the comments it's like people had noticed it and they were like automatically had written the video off because of that. And it's like, oh, maybe you need to look closer at that. It's kind of funny the way, I mean, because what people will do for views. I wonder if it should all be like this. But it was a really sweet video, but then if it's a lie, is it still sweet? Well, I guess we have to wonder. It's kind of sad though. You really can't trust anything you see on here. Or when you really have to, I don't know, think so hard about what's real and what's not. I kind of like the darker orange better. How are we going to do with that? That may dry though. I gotta stop thinking about it. It could be different tomorrow. Maybe this orange doesn't lend itself to blending like the other things do. Orange, yellow, yellow, orange. I was noticing as the spring flowers come up. I have lots of jonquils and also had a lot of crocuses. And I don't know. I think the squirrels took all my crocus bulbs. I think they absconded because I think I've only seen one crocus, and I had them all around the bottom of the lilac bushes, and I only saw one. So I think they ran off with them all. Before they dug them up and they moved them, I found them in strange places popping up in the yard because the squirrel picked it up and buried it somewhere else. Oh, brother. And that was when we had like 3, 4 cats. Them squirrels knew when to hit the ground. They weren't any slouches. Maybe I do like this yellow a little bit. But then that means this needs to be more yellow. I need to get rid of my... I don't know if that's going to go away. I said it would. Maybe it won't. Kind of like how it looks kind of rustic, though, as opposed to this side. Oops. It's always... So, the Jolly Tea Drinker is coming live at 5 o'clock. So, I'm still at my desk at 5, which I may very well be. That's where I'm going to be. I think I've read her thing right. I think I like that. This one I don't like as much. And I'm getting the hang of these markers. So I need to figure out what to do with that spot. Maybe that'll be the last thing I do. Look at it. I don't know how it looks in the middle. So we're gonna... dots of something. About dots of gold. Oh, we could just leave it like that. No blend. Just leave it like that. That's what I'm gonna do. Okie dokie. So we have some blue blending to do up here with the outlines. Ooh, I see some green up there. I need to do that. So we gotta finish the blue and then do the UKOs. UKOs blue, UKOs flowers, and the butterfly, which is one thing that seems to fit, so I don't qualify that as a UKO. UKO is unidentified Kirby object. That's what they call them, UKOs. Okay, so this is where we are with the toucan. All acrylic. Why does this seem so fuzzy? Losing my eyes. Oh. So that's it for me for today in my unexpected random live. See you at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at the Jolly Tea Drinkers. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care, Taylor.